and pulled out a performance that you've known to see the Miami Heat do. Show up. When they came out on tip ball, I knew this team was ready. Now, Chicago could have came back. Chicago could have made it a game. But I knew that the Miami Heat was well engaged and they weren't going to let this game go. Give it up to Tyler Hero in this ball game. We already know how great he is. But if he continues to show up big in games like this going into the playoffs, this Miami team can be a shocker. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship, okay? They can go deeper and farther in these playoffs than anybody could have imagined. Anybody could imagine. And I said Bam Adebayo had to come in this game and have a big one to help Tyler Hero out. He didn't have a great scoring punch, but Bam Adebayo had a great rebounding game. As you can see, his assist is not that high. He only had 3 assists tonight. Tyler Hero didn't need his scoring punch, especially with Tyler Hero going for 38. But where did they pick that scoring up from? Look at Andrew Wiggins. 20 points, 9 rebounds. Yeah, of course, he got 2 blocks. He got 2 steals. See that? Come down here, 8 for 20 from the field. Ain't the greatest thing in the world, but he was active. And what I noticed since he got to Miami, Spoelstra ain't got him just standing around like he was in Golden State, putting him right into the offense, going to him a lot on some occasions. We need a scoring punch from him. Call him some plays. He's athletic enough. He could shoot well enough. Give him the ball. And he proved it. He showed up. You won't see him get 20 shots for the Golden State Warriors for some reason. He was just kind of a spot-up guy. Every once in a while, he might slash, get some run-outs. Erik Spoelstra is featuring him on a lot of occasions, giving him the ball, and I like it. Give this guy an opportunity to make a difference in the ball game. So with his 20 points, Hero's 38, Bam Adebayo pitched in his 15, a double-double, of course. Then you go down there on the bench with Davion Mitchell coming in, ball hawking. Not only that, he gets 15 points. Miami Heat was ready in this ball game because you look at Miami Heat all year long, they're kind of up and down. You don't know what to expect. But one thing you can expect is when their back's against the wall, they always rise to the occasion. So the Chicago Bulls came in this game, they didn't look themselves the way they've been playing all year. And you can credit the Miami Heat defense for that. They smothered them. They kept them under 100 points in this ball game. Under 100. That's not easy to do, especially how hot they've been rolling. So let's give a shout out to this Miami Heat. Their backs against the wall. No, they're not in the playoffs. They still got to play Atlanta. That's going to be another big game that's coming up for them, just to get into the playoffs. But they've done this kind of thing before. They've done it before. Beat Atlanta, you're in the 8th spot. Nobody expecting you to win in the playoffs at that 8th slot. No way, Jose. You got to go through the Cavs. It's not going to happen. More than likely, that's not going to happen. So to top this season off for the Miami Heat, you can look at it as semi-successful. They already counted you out. You battled. You got in the playoffs. We understand that you meet somebody that's just a greater team than you. Hey, man, go into off-season, see what you can wheel and deal. Maybe you get your superstar. Maybe you get a few more pieces, and then roll it from there. We'll just say this season has been down in the dumps, but you have an opportunity to patch it up in the end, and that's what the Miami Heat are doing. So great game by the Miami Heat coming in here and blowing this team out, making it solidified very early what they came to do, and that was taking care of business, going down to Chicago and putting a hammer to them. Great game. Now I want to talk about this Grizzlies and Warriors game. I'm going to try not to keep it too long because obviously we have the Dallas Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings tonight. It's almost halftime on this end. That's 58-46. Dallas is kind of surprising me. I picked Sacramento to win this. It's still early, but I definitely picked Sacramento to pull this game out. High intense, they're flying up and down. Anthony Davis, of course, he's going to have a huge game. And Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, you know how it goes. And Keegan Murray. We're going to see how it turns out. But the Warriors and the Grizzlies looked like they was going to take down the Warriors in the beginning of that game. They got up to an early lead. Golden State weathered the storm. And when they came with their punch, they put them out of the water. It was a blowout. Okay, here go the Warriors now. They're about to put the Grizzlies out of here. But the Grizzlies came back. Came back into the game. But let me say one thing about Ja Morant. Tough as nails. Early in that game, he was setting the stage. I mean, this guy was driving. He was hitting this little pull-up. Everything was going fine for him until he twisted his ankle and went out. Some people will say Grizzlies probably would have won this game if he would have never sprained his ankle. That's up for discussion. Who knows? But they did have a rhythm going. And they did build a lead with him out as well. So it's hard to say that. But early in the game, Ja Morant was looking real good, getting to the paint, scoring, taking contact. That one little off the glass catch shot, little double clutch off the glass with a layup before he landed back on the ground. That was amazing. So that game right there, we're going to see about the Kings game, of course, because that looked like it's a little high intense. But I will say in the play-in tournament so far, Grizzlies and Warriors set the stage. That was high-level basketball yesterday. And the Golden State Warriors, they was able to pull it out. Had Curry under the clutches, but just like any other superstar, you have to stay with them the whole ball game. Curry shook loose, hit 2 big 3-pointers, and the rest is history. This is what we all been waiting for, right? It's the matchup now. It must have been made in heaven because they're going at it again. And I know I sat here and I talked about, matter of fact, let me pull this up real quick before we get into it. All right, there we go. So the matchup is on. Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets. And I know early on I said that we'd rather have the Memphis Grizzlies. We'd rather have Minnesota Timberwolves. Anybody besides the Golden State Warriors. That if they play the Golden State Warriors, they will not come out of that series. They won't win it. I'm not saying I'm going to walk that back, but I'm going to have faith in these Houston Rockets. And I've always had faith in the Houston Rockets. I just call it how I see it. The only thing that's making me nervous about this matchup, and I'll be honest with you, is not the defense. I have all the confidence in the world in this Rockets defense. It's the offense that I'm concerned about. The 2-3 minutes without scoring, where it's looking crazy. They don't know who they want to go to. Nobody's grabbing the bull by the horns to take over the game, at least put the shots up. I'm hoping that's all behind them. And that dress rehearsal we talked about, they didn't leave a good taste in our mouth. It's on now. It is on. Rockets are in preparation. Golden State pretty soon, they're probably already in preparation after they rest. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Because of one, they're young, they're athletic. Golden State Warriors are an older team. They got a lot of wear and tear. Just like Steve Kerr and his team is saying, they've been playing playoff basketball for a few weeks now. They've been in the grind. They needed this rest, is what they were talking about. They needed it bad. And they're going to get their little 4 games rest. But the thing is, I don't think that that's going to help them out too much. They're still older. Once the game tips off and the series gets a little deep, those aches and wounds and that tiredness is going to come back. Houston Rockets is a young team. They're going to lean on them for 48 minutes throughout this series. They're going to wear down before the Rockets wear down. That's what the Rockets got going for them on their side right now, is to run this team in the ground and to beat them and beat them against the wall and beat them down to the ground and just keep them there. That's what they have going for them. And if they just find a way to get this offense rolling where they don't stall out 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes without scoring, I could see the Houston Rockets handling them pretty well in this series. But you look at the Warriors, they have experience on their side. They've done it before. We heard it all before. The championships, right? They built like that. They've been there. They know how to win. And then you look at the young Rockets, never been there before. Young team. Will they get rattled? There's going to be a lot of questions need to be answered once this series tips off. A lot of questions. Stephen Curry. If you don't think he's going to be riled up and ready for this game, whatever he got left in that little body of his, he's wore down too. And he's going to get more worn down when Amen Thompson gets on him. But if you don't think his eyes is lit up and he wants to prove a point, he's going to be highly engaged in this series, trying to prove a point, trying to prove he still has it, which we already know he still has it. But he questions himself a little bit for us getting up in age and having a lot of these off shooting nights. It's starting to catch up with him just a little bit. But when you got Amen Thompson on the other side and Curry keeps hearing this about this guy, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, probably won't win it, but candidate. We already talked about that enough. But if y'all can remember, they so-called had a Michael Jordan stopper. They so-called had a Kobe Bryant stopper. Can y'all remember that? The Michael Jordan stopper is supposed to be Gerald Wilkins. Now, I know I probably have some, I don't know, if you're in your 20s, you probably don't know anything about this, right? But yes, Gerald Wilkins, y'all can look him up. They built this guy up, thought he could be the Michael Jordan stopper. He got embarrassed. Kobe Bryant. Do y'all remember that? They built this guy up by the name of Ruben Patterson. I almost can remember this like it was yesterday. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know later on. But I believe it was Shawn Kemp. This is with the Portland Trail Blazers at that time. Forgot what year it was. But Shawn Kemp is in the locker room pumping up Ruben Patterson, calling him the Kobe stopper. Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper. Man, Kobe Bryant went out there and humiliated that man. Humiliated him. So now you got Amen Thompson's coming up. And I'm not going to just sit up here and call him the Curry stopper. This is a different time now. But if you look at the situation, it's very similar. Curry knows about all the noise that's going around. That this Amen Thompson guy has got his number. If Amen Thompson wants to make a name for himself, he's going to do it in this series. He's going to do it in this series. Because he's going to get the Warriors' best. He's going to get Curry's best. Now, as far as that matchup, which is going to have to be a team effort, it is not Amen Thompson just guard him on an island one-on-one the whole ball game. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a team effort. Everybody has to be engaged. Everybody has to be on rotation. They're going to have to jump screens. They're going to have to do all of that to stay on top and run Curry off that three-point line and corral him when he gets to the paint. But if Amen Thompson, I'm going to be looking at this very closely. And what I'm going to be looking at is throughout this series, I want to see how many times Amen Thompson can keep Stephen Curry under 30 points. That's the metric. Superstars in this league, if you hold them under 30, that means you guarded them. Okay? You guarded them. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. Meaning, let's say Stephen Curry does like he usually do. He just goes throughout the game, not really that effective, like he did against the Grizzlies, and end up hitting 2 big shots to close it out at the end. It don't matter what you do the whole 46 minutes of the ball game. But if you let him sneak and slither loose for that last 2 minutes and rally his team with heroics, 3-point drops all over the place, and he ends the game with 6 points, 13 points, whatever it is, you didn't guard him. because you allowed him to beat you when a game was on the line, when it mattered the most, and he lifted his team to a victory, being shut down the whole game. But it was just 2 times you made a mistake, and those 2 threes that beat you. That's the exception to the rule. He didn't score 30 points, but all they needed was those 2 threes to go in to win it, and that's exactly what he did. So it's exceptions to the rule. But I'm going to be looking at, can he hold him under 30? How many times is he going to do it in this 7-game series? You got to stay engaged with him. You got to stay engaged. He's running around like a hamster on a wheel, and he's not going to stop. So it's going to be crucial. This is a big series. The Rockets are due. The Rockets are due. This team has owned them for, I don't know how long, man, but it's been a while. The Warriors have broke a lot of fans' hearts here in Houston. And Steph Curry was the one behind all of it with that jump shooting. That was the old team that went through that. These new young bucks, they don't know anything about that. That's what might help, because they don't know no better. They're cocky. They're eager. And they want to go out there and prove something. They have a chance in this series. The Houston Rockets can grow up. That's how huge this one is, baby. They can grow up in this series. So, I'm going to go with the Rockets. I know I said that they weren't going to win this series if they match up against the Golden State Warriors. And I'm telling you right now, the only reason I said that because of the offense. It stalls out. Can they produce enough points? Jalen Green is on the clock. Alperen Sengun is on the clock. They have to produce points, and they have to stay aggressive. Anything other than that, the Houston Rockets will be going home, and I don't think I got to convince anybody of that. They will be going home. Defense is stout. We already know that. But it's going to come a time where you have to make jump shots. You have to keep that scoreboard moving. Rockets have shown throughout this season that is Achilles' heel. We're going to find out what they're made of. But Houston Rockets all the way. It was meant to be. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I was the biggest Grizzlies fan last night. Do you hear me? I was invested. I'm telling you, man. And they came so close of pulling that out. But when you let this man run around all day long and you lose your focus, that's when he's going to bite you. And they pulled out a big one as well today against those Bulls. But like I say, Miami Heat just stringing this thing along. Once they get in the playoffs, nobody's expecting them to come out of that 8th spot. That you want to talk about miracles. If they pull that off, that's going to be like Golden State with the Baron Davis and Steven Jacksons back in the day beating the Dallas Mavericks from that 8th slot. That's what that's going to look like. And I don't see it happening. But it'll be a great year just for them to get into the playoffs, knowing how they played all year inconsistent, and they was able to muster something up at the end of the season and get into the playoffs. Hey, tip your hat to it and move on and see what you can do in the offseason. Kevin Durant, maybe? I don't know. Rockets in the bid for that as well. I don't know how thrilled I am about that, but we're going to find out in these playoffs. Something's going to have to happen depending on what the Rockets going to do with Golden State. So, it's here. Play-ins almost over with. Playoffs about to start. 7-game chess match. Can't wait. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. This is Weary Wednesday. Appreciate y'all time. G.S.Q.H, Goodymo Sports Quick Hits. And we out of here. Peace.
playing in a playoff series. Great Houston team that's had an amazing year. For us, like, just a sense of relief that we have something to look forward to now. And
where did this play in victory rank in your career?
I'll put it this way, Mike Dunleavy in the locker room had the game ball, and after Coach did his thing, Mike interrupted and was like, I got the game ball here, 4 championships. And he threw it to Steve and said, this is your first playing game win. So
what?
Obviously you gotta have some fun with it. It's done well for the league, obviously, keeping some interest and some drama down the stretch of the season. And for us to finally get on the other side of it and live to play hopefully a solid 7-game series, it's exciting.
Jimmy's called you Batman about 4 times tonight.
What?
Yeah, he's on interviews on TV, on the podium. He's calling you Batman and him Robin. Has he done that to you?
No, that's why I said, well, I hadn't heard that one yet.
38 from him tonight. I know, there was some talk maybe in the weeks leading up to this past week about him. Does he need to amp up his scoring aggression? Did you ever push him to, or did you know it was coming? Did you ever want it to come sooner?
There's been a few games, here and there sporadically where he has been a little bit more aggressive looking for a shot. He's obviously been getting to the free throw line, and I think it's obviously the sense of urgency of him, like, winning games that matter down the stretch. But I never doubted it was coming. It's just he always has a sense of pride on, like, playing the right way and whatever the game calls for. And I think he kind of understood that he's been here before. He understands the nerves and the adrenaline and the expectations, and none of that rattles him. It's just he plays basketball at a high level, so that's what's coming out. I don't think it's it's predetermined that he's being aggressive, but it's just because of the moment. And so we definitely needed every one of them. And you could tell he's a dog and a winner and loves these type of environments, and it brings the best out of him. I was just telling Draymond, it's wild. We've been in a playoff series in Houston for a decade. Like, it's crazy to think about. I know this is a brand new version of the Rockets team, but
yeah,
we're excited for the challenge.
Steph, as you get older, people look for signs of deterioration or whatever you want to call it.
That's a strong word.
Yeah, it is. I was trying to think of software. But where are you right now? How do you feel right now? Are you just as good as the old Steph? Beat up? Are you?
Everybody's dealing with something at this stage. I don't feel like I'm slowing down at all. It's just, the maintenance and the build-up game to game is a little different than it used to be, but I can still get to that level that you've seen night in, night out. So you have to accept the fact that we talked about getting as much rest as possible and how important game 82 was, and we didn't get it done, how important the night was to have 5 days to get ready for a playoff series. So I'm going to take full advantage of that for sure. Just to get refreshed and rejuvenated and try to get as healthy as possible before we start hopefully a 2-month journey.
I tried to downplay it a little bit before the game, but we desperately needed to win this game and get 4 days. Our guys have been basically playing knockout games for about 3 weeks, and one high-level game after another. And so to get this one, took 83 games, but we're right where we want to be, which is back in the playoffs, and we've got a chance. But maybe most importantly, we get the time to rest and prepare, because these guys need that. He's struggling to make shots, and he makes the two biggest shots of the game. That doesn't just come from skill. That comes from fortitude and fearlessness and incredible self-belief. Jimmy possesses the same thing. Draymond too, in a different way. Not so much in an offensive way, but just in a winning way. And that's why I believe in our team so much. We've got several guys, on this team, Loon included, who's been here for a long time. They've won titles. And that guy's, taken his teams to the finals a couple times. Like, we got winners in this locker room, and it's time for Jimmy to talk. We'll talk to you later.
I mean, I can shoot. I just choose not to shoot threes. I'd rather drive into the paint, get me a layup, a midi, or pass the ball to somebody that's probably a much better shooter than I am. I think probably you and everybody else want me to shoot more threes, but I like shooting some layups.
Jimmy, throughout the season, you said that you will take what the defense has given you in terms of shooting and being aggressive offensively. You've had 20 attempts in each of the last 2 games. What have you seen on the floor that has warranted that?
That we may need me to score a little bit more right now, but it could change come when we play Sunday, something like that. If I can get 17 assists and we win, that's great. If I can get 10 steals or 2 steals and we win, that's great. But I think me scoring a little bit more has definitely helped us a little bit.
Jimmy, what personally bothers you more, turnovers or missed free throws?
Turnovers. I hate turning the ball over. Free throws, but turnovers really irk me.
What do you think you can take from this game, especially going against somebody like Edey compared to going against Houston with their defense and someone like an Amen Thompson?
Not much. We'll go back to the drawing board and see how I can be effective on the offensive side of the ball. But I really believe I can score with the best of them. I don't care who I'm lined up against.
And he wants to play meaningful basketball, and you've certainly underlined that ever since you've been here. How is there satisfaction? I don't, relief might be the wrong word. Obviously, you've got games to play, but to get Steph, to get this team back into a meaningful position again, what does that feel like?
It feels great. I want everybody to be happy. For sure, Steph, he deserves it. What he's done for the game of basketball, not only this city and this organization. He's in it for the long haul. He wants to win. He wants to win every single game, every single possession. And I know I want to win a championship, so he needs his, this would be number 5 for him, so he needs one more.
Could you sense that from him today?
Yeah. Every game, for me, though, he's always, it's like I always say, you're never really out of any game when you have him on your team. And if you have a lead of 5, he can easily take your lead to 15 to 17, maybe even 20 all by himself. So I'm glad that he's on my team. I feel like I can give any team, for sure this one, a chance to win. And they believe it, I believe it, and that's all that you can ask for. Now we just got to go out there, execute, play our tails off, and win some more basketball games.
That loss to the Rockets recently was, probably one of your guys' collective worst games in this stretch. What do you kind of remember from that game? What didn't work?
Turnovers. We turn the ball over a lot. Can't win whenever they get so many more possessions than we do. We take care of the ball. I think we'll be in a good spot.
What about their, team construction is difficult to score against?
I think if we worry about us, we'll be just fine.
Draymond, what's the immediate mindset shift to going to Houston now? Like, what is it going to take after your guys' previous loss against the Rockets?
We just got to take care of the ball. We take care of the ball. Allows us to get our defense set, make them play in the half court. But it starts with, our offense got to help our defense.
You've seen what he's done in the past. I just asked Gary about it. What does the nickname Playoff Jimmy mean to you, though?
Yeah, he's different.
I'm different. Yeah, I'm different.
That guy, he's different. You can just see a whole different intensity level and focus. And, I'm a basketball fan, so I've watched it on TV for years. To see it up close and personal, it's a real thing. Sometimes you get in the NBA and these guys come get these nicknames and you're like, man, stop it.
No.
They're not real. That one's real, and I'm happy he on our side.
Are you guys a team that people like to watch? Is this like America's team? It seems like you put on a show, you know?
Steph Curry played here. It's the greatest show on hardwood over the last 10 years. So, yeah, I think so. I know I like watching Steph play, so, and I'm kind of a basketball purist, so I know the rest of the world got to really appreciate it. But, yeah, I think there's no surprise. Steph Curry's been the best show in basketball for the last 10 years, and that hasn't slowed down a bit at all. I think the numbers will probably back that up. I don't necessarily know what the numbers are, but I'm pretty sure the numbers probably back it up.
Oh my God!